We're going to walk through a few new features of the SkillsCMS management system around importing online test scores. For a number of years now, the system's had an ability for you to manually enter online test scores, but we're introducing a new feature this year to allow you to import online test scores from an Excel platform. So there's probably a couple of common scenarios where you'd need to do this, two primary use cases, I would say. Some conference events allow students to take a test a week or two before their conference event. This may be like an online or written test portion of the skill area or the contest, so that one of the items being scored is an online test. Or it also may be students showing up at your conference event specifically to take a technical information test, they're commonly called. And those students, the only thing they are doing at your conference event would be to take this technical information test. They're not competing or doing any sort of a demonstration or actual skilled event. They are simply taking a test and they want to get a score for it. We were prepared to deal with two common platforms for how this would work, how states can use these online test platforms. A lot of states are using ClassMarker as a online test platform, and with the ClassMarker system, there's not an ability in that system to provide or enter the student's contestant number, the number that's on their badges, and so you'll need to be very clear in instructing your students to put their contestant number in as their first name. They can put in whatever they want in the last name field, but without the contestant number from their badge being in the first name field, there's no way for us to match up what student got what score, so those students will not receive a score. Similarly with the Career Essentials Assessments platform, if they're using that from the SkillsUSA office, the students need to enter that contestant number into the ID number field. And again, without the system having that contestant number in the ID field, there isn't a way for us to match or know what student gets what score, so there will be no scores loaded for those particular students. We're going to walk through a couple of examples. The ClassMarker system, when you export results from the ClassMarker platform, it has a couple of extra rows on the top that are useless, and those rows need to be deleted and then save that file as an Excel. And it's kind of showing what's here in this sample screenshot. The first name field has contestant numbers, and then whatever they have in the last name field. And then these two, points received and points available, those are the only columns we'll really care about. Whatever the first name is, which is the ID number, will match to the contestant number, and then the points received and points possible. I want to walk through and show you a quick demo of that, what that might look like. So here I have an export of a sample ClassMarker file. This is an original ClassMarker file that came from the ClassMarker system, just as an example. And you can see here the extra rows at the top I was talking about. The first name column, where most of the students figured it out and got their contestant number entered as their first name, but this particular student didn't. He didn't follow instructions. He will not be getting a score. No matter what score he got, we're throwing it out because we have no idea what contestant number that particular student is. That's why it's critical that students be able to follow the instructions. Put your contestant number in the first name field. So to get rid of these first few rows, we're just going to select everything down to that column heading, first name, last name. We're going to select those and delete them. I can press Control Delete or Control minus on the screen, or you can just delete them however you prefer to delete those. Now all the rest of this is all we need. The first row is going to be those column headings, and then these are the ones we're going to import. The first name we're going to import, and we're going to import the points received and the points available. Those will be the ones that will end up getting imported. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as a particular file. I'm going to call it, this was a ClassMarker, so I'm going to call, this was building trades. Marker building trades clean. So this is the one that I want to import, because the first row is that those column headings. Those are the ones we need. All this other junk at the bottom, none of that stuff, and all this stuff, none of that matters. We're going to end up deleting or ignoring all that when we import it. So let's go over to the CMS platform then and see about loading that. When I get to the CMS system, on the online test batch entry screen, there is a new feature here for importing either ClassMarker or generic Excel. And one of the first steps that we need to do is to select which contest we want to import. I've already used the load contestants button to get all my contestants loaded in here, and that was the building trades project, and that is a technical test, meaning those students, the only thing they're going to do here at the conference is take that test. So I've chosen which contest I'm about to import, because if you remember that Excel file, let me go back and show you that Excel file for a second, the clean one. There's nothing in here, nothing in this file tells me that this is for building trades, and that's why it's critical that we choose the building trades test. So I only know that it's building trades because of the file name that I've given it, building trades clean. So when I click here, I've chosen building trades, and then I'm going to choose, since I know this came from ClassMarker, I'm going to click the import ClassMarker screen. It'll ask me if I'm ready to import a cleaned ClassMarker Excel file for building trades. Yes, I am. It'll ask me which file I want to grab. I want to look on my, where is it? On my USB drive J, and there's a clean ClassMarker building trades. Hit OK. It says it successfully imported 14 scores from Excel, of which 11 were successfully matched to contestants in building trades. Remember, we saw some student who had put his first name in instead of putting his contestant number. Other students might have put in the wrong numbers. They didn't know their numbers. They weren't following instructions. It is what it is in this case. If the students can't follow the instructions to put their contestant number in that first name field, they don't get a score. So this is telling us 3 of those did not match. Okay? And then since this is a technical test, it's telling me this appears to be a technical information test, and we want to apply these scores as the final manual score for this contest. In other words, there are no other scores. There's no Excel scorecard. There's no nothing for these students. This is the only thing they're going to be scored on. So yes, I want to count that as the manual scores. It'll tell me the online test scores were entered as manual scoring, and now I can go tabulate those winners and generate a score report from the manual scoring screen. And I can see here it's automatically loaded those scores for each of those contestant numbers. Let me go over and to the manual scoring screen and tabulate winners there, and we'll see what the results look like. So now I should have under building trades technical test, there is my results. So I can see the students that got gold, silver, and bronze simply by importing that file from ClassMarker. So again, the catch with that is you need to be sure let me switch this around here. Those extra rows at the top need to be deleted so that the only thing you're importing are the column headings that the system knows to look for. So that's it for ClassMarker. Works pretty straightforward. When it comes to Career Essentials, the Career Essentials assessments platform from the SkillsUSA National Office has a similar assessment export that can be done for the results, but the catch is each of those files, each of those exports you get from Career Essentials ends up having different column headings based on which contest or which test it's for. And so we can't just import those directly. I'll show you what I mean there in a second. So we end up needing to copy and paste that raw data into a generic Excel format. Let me show you what that would look like. I'm going to go ahead and exit out here. I'm going to minimize this. And I have here this is student grade report for basic health. This is a CSV file or an Excel export I got out of this career assessments. And you'll notice it's got these column headings at the top for basic health and all these different, whichever test that students take, Form A, Form B, and the course total over here on the right. And this, we can't import this directly because every test would have a different set of column headings, so it just doesn't really work for us. So instead, what we're going to need to do is copy and paste this data into a very, very simple generic Excel file, and then we'll be able to import that one. I have created here, and you can just create one of these on your own or get one from our website. I've just got this generic online test Excel file. It's very, very simplistic. It just needs 4 columns: contestant number, contestant name, points, and possible. So you can create this yourself. It's just a simple little Excel file with these 4 column headings: con number, con name, points, and possible. So all I'm going to do is copy and paste this information. Remember we talked earlier about when you're taking a career assessment, you need to have the students put their contestant number in that column. So I'm just going to copy those directly and come back over here. Those are my contestant numbers. and then I bounce back over and grab those names. The names aren't really very important, and I'm going to grab them. Same thing, paste them there. And then I'm going to go over here and get the total number of points over here at the course total column. Just going to grab those, copy those, paste them here, and then this is just out of 100 points total. I'm going to copy that down, and I'm done. So I have basically just copy and pasted the details from the export out of Career Essentials Assessments and copied that data directly over into this very simple generic file format. Now you'll notice this student here, Rodriguez, didn't follow the instructions, didn't put his contestant number in, so his score of 58 is not going to get counted. We just cannot match these. Now if you noticed this ahead of time, of course you could put in whatever his number was, but if you don't know that, or you're in the midst of running your conference and you don't have time to track that or look that up, then Rodriguez just doesn't get a score because he couldn't follow directions. So this is the simple generic file format that I want to use. I'm going to save this same place. I'm going to save it on my USB stick, and I'm going to call this this was my basic healthcare, I think it was. Let me double check. Yeah, basic health. So I'm going to call this basic health online results, and then I'm going to be able to go and import that guy. Now in this case, let me close those down and get back to the CMS. In that case, if I look at my basic healthcare skills, you'll notice that basic healthcare has one item that's going to be called online test. So this is just one of various things that are going to get scored there. So if I go back and look at my stick, I also have the regular old basic healthcare results here. This is the regular old Excel scorecard from the system. And I don't need to put in the online test scores. I don't need my judges to put that in because I've already got that from the Career Essentials platform. So they've just put in their regular scores and what the contestants got from every skill area, job interview and for vital signs and anatomy and physiology, but they don't need to put in the online test because that's what we're about to import. So we'll import both of these right quick. The first one we want to import is the online test score, which is those results. And I'm going to do that again in the online test batch entry. And they could have taken this online test days or weeks ahead of time. As long as they knew their contestant numbers, they can do that. But it's the same idea. I need to choose which contest I want to import. I'm going to choose basic healthcare skills, and I'm going to import a generic file. And this one's generic, not the class marker. I'm going to import that and choose the one I had just saved called Basic Health Online Results. Hit OK. It successfully imported 11 of those, and there they are. There's those results that I just imported. Now, since this is one of the skill areas, it didn't ask me that question about, hey, this is a technical information test. You want to do the manual scoring. It is just appended. It will just append those here in a moment. So let me go over and import the actual Excel scorecard that my judges filled in everything else. When I hit import here, it's going to ask me which file I want to process. I'm going to get my basic healthcare. This is the regular Excel scorecard that we've always used. When I import that guy, it is going to notice that there are some online test scores found, and it's going to say, hey, there already appears to be some online test batch scores entered for this contest. Do we want to append them? Why, yes, we do. And now I've got the combination of the Excel results from my judges along with my online test. So now I know who won gold, who won bronze, who won silver, and it's the combination of all that data. So that's how you can process through Career Essentials assessments just using the very, very simple 4-column Excel file. Import those guys and save yourself a lot of time when you're doing your conference. If you have questions, you need help, you're not quite sure how this works, you can always email us, support@skillsusa-writers.org. Thank you so much for your time.